Once upon a time, Mommy Shovel was walking this way, and she tripped over Daddy Shovel. Oh, they got together, and then they had a baby. Oh, look at that baby. Oh. Hey there crew, we're back on the job today. It is a couple of days later. We installed the TV on the fireplace, and today we're gonna be talking about the outdoor audio. Now let me take you over here with the equipment that we're working with. We already have a table set up. We threw some blankets on here. We got Gus already over there. He's doing a little bit of digging because we're gonna bury some of these speakers. And we are working with the Sonance Patio Series 4.1. Now with the Sonance Patio Series systems, what you get is actually a burial 8-inch subwoofer. We get 4 satellites, and we also have a 2-channel 100-watt amplifier already over here. So, Justin, if you want to take a little close-up on how this system works. So what this actually does, if you take a look at the picture over here, this allows us to put 4 satellites around the area that we want to cover with audio. We also have a subwoofer, which is going to give us low sounds in there. So here's a little mock-up picture over here so you can see how the subwoofer gets buried under the ground. We got the 4 satellites with spikes in there. Now, the manufacturer suggests that we dig a hole that is about 11 inches and 12 inches round so we can bury the subwoofer. And this is a wiring configuration. We get the amp, and then we're gonna run what is called 14-4 outdoors burial speaker wire. 14-4 means there's actually 4 pairs inside of the speaker. You get 2 pairs will go left and right, and then we also gonna have all 4 pairs are gonna go connected to the subwoofer. All right, so inside of the box, okay, we get 4 Sonance satellite speakers, which is your satellites drivers. Then we actually have the 8-inch subwoofer, and then the 2-channel 100 amp amplifier. All right, so why don't we go ahead and do a little bit of unboxing and show you what this system looks like. All right, let's go. All right, crew, so let's get in a little bit of unboxing going on over here so we can show you what this system looks like. Now, I think we got some videos lying around in the background, so you can go back and check some older videos that we did doing a outdoor landscape system. But today, I guess we're gonna give you a true behind the scenes of what this looks like. All right, so I just opened up the satellites. Let me go ahead and show you right there. They already come, we're already pre-built with the spikes in there, and also a speaker wire jumper already built into it. All right, then that's that. And also with that, we get the wing nuts that we're gonna go ahead and make the splices on the cable. And then inside of the wing nuts, let me see if I can open one of these up for you so you could see. Okay, inside of the wing nuts, actually inside the wing nuts themselves, they come with the little dielectric grease that will protect the speaker wire from all the water elements. All right, let's go ahead and put that in there. Let's get rid of that. Okay, that goes in there. Now let's go ahead and open up the mushroom, what I like to call the mushroom subwoofer. All right, let's get that over here. Come on, get that out. Okay. Okay, folks, here it is. Here is the 8-inch mushroom subwoofer. All right, we get that in there. Let's go ahead and unwrap this up so you can see what that looks like. All right, then. Okay, here we go. Okay. See what that looks like in there? See, here's our mushroom. Here is our connecting cable that's gonna have all 4 pairs. And what's gonna happen is that when we're sending audio to the subwoofer, the built-in circuitry that's inside of the subwoofer is actually gonna steal just the low sounds, you know, the low-end bass. And then just take what it needs, and then the sound will just continue through the wiring on there. See that in there? Justin, let me go ahead and see if I can just undo the wire. So you can see we have our speakers here. We have our red and our black, that's actually our right. And then we have our white and our green, which is our left. So we're actually taking the left and right low-end sounds that are going to each speaker, and the subwoofer will just take the bass, and these speakers will just handle the highs, all right? Now, with that, we can't forget that we also have the amplifier. That's all in one box. It's a quick all-in-one solution. Where's my knife? All right, let's go ahead and open that up. Okay, and this system comes to us from the great folks over there at ProAct Sales, actually custom partners. Let me show you, I think that was in the box. So you can see that in there, get a shot of that. All right, big shout out to Don Schulster from Custom Partners. He sent that to us. All right, great guide over there. So make sure you guys contact them if you want to sign up to be a dealer and sell some of this great stuff that they carry over there. Okay, so let me go ahead and open up the amplifier that's gonna push these speakers. Okay, get that over there. And all right, we got our little brackets, so when we're gonna rack them up together. All right then, let's get that over here. Okay. Okay, oh yeah, that smells so good, brand new. Oh, it smells so good. All right, check that out, folks. So this is the amplifier that we're gonna be working with now over here. So we have a push power button in the front. We have our left and right channels. These lights come on in green when we're actually working with sound. When they're red, that means something is peaking. All right, now in the back, so we got our 3-prong power plug that's in there. And then we have our Phoenix connector that allows us to connect the speaker wire from here. We have our leveler volume controls over here. And then we also have our inputs, which is gonna be our, we're gonna be working with Sonos port. In fact, let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. All right, crew, so here is what we're using as a music streamer. We're gonna be using the Sonos port. Now, there are many streaming devices and many streaming services that are out there, but the client already has a Sonos system. He already knows how to use it. So we like to have clients stick with what they know sometimes, so it's easier for them to operate it. So this little brick over here, actually, if you could take a look at that, Justin, we have 2 Ethernet ports on here, and then we have an RCA input and an RCA output and digital out that we're gonna be using on that. And so we are gonna be using the RCA out left and right. Whoops, I already plugged that wrong. Right in here, there it is. So we have our output, which is our left and right audio. And then we're gonna go into the in of the amplifier, the Sonos amplifier. So then the Sonos will be fitting the Sonance amplifier. So the Sonance will be getting food from the Sonos. All right, so this is actually a streaming device. The client's gonna work it with their phone. And so from in here, we're gonna feed the amplifier. The amplifier, it's gonna get music from the Sonos via the RCA cable. And then from the Phoenix connector, we're gonna have our left and our right speaker wire that we're gonna be using. Now, the manufacturer suggests that we use Burial 14-4 speaker wire. In fact, depending on the distance that you're gonna be using, if it's like 100 feet, you can use 18 gauge. Then if you do like 150 feet, you can use 16 gauge. You know what? We always play it safe, and we always use 14 gauge speaker wire. Now, this is actually comes to us from the good folks over at Ice Cabling. 14-4 means that it's actually 14 gauge with 4 conductors inside, meaning it's right, left, and right and left. Positive and negative. We have 500 feet on here. Now, believe it or not, this whole box is gonna go on this job just for these speakers. So we're gonna have to order another box so we can do the surround sound system. And if you get a good shot of that, Justin, it says it right here. See that? 14-4, okay, American Warrior gauge, 4 conductor, direct burial. What that means, direct burial, that means you get to bury this wire under the ground, and then we don't actually run any piping or any conduit. Now, of course, it is suggested that you run some conduit in it so you can protect it, so when they winterize the lawn for the winter. But when we run the wires, we like to go along the bushes and along the mulch and stuff like that, where there's already low voltage lighting in there. And we bury it about 6 to 8 inches. Sometimes we do 10. And then we just bury the wire in there, and they'll never know that's in there. And sometimes we tell the client where the wire is. But 9 times out of 10, we've never had an accidental cut on the wire when the landscapers are working. So speaking of landscapers, we are taking a break today from TV installers, and then we're gonna switch our hats, and then we're gonna become landscapers today. All right, so I got Gus over there. He's already digging. Let me show you what one of these drivers look like. So there it is, folks. See that? There's the speaker. All right, so this is a 3.5 driver. We got the spike right here, and then this is our jumper cable that we're gonna go ahead and tie in from the speaker wire that we're gonna run. Now, do we see a manufacturer manual on this thing right over here? Let's see, up there it is, folks. Let me go ahead and take that from under. So, let me tell you that this is a manual that comes inside. Now, here's the drawing of what they suggest that we're working with. So see, actually, you get the 4 satellites, you put the subwoofer in the middle, and then these are directional speakers. So we're actually firing the sound away from the neighbors and towards the customer preferred coverage area. All right, and then, so here's the layout. There's the amplifier. We're gonna run our wires, see, 14-4, 4 wires. And then we're gonna obey left and right on these speakers. And then here's the suggested burial. So we got 11 inches that they want us to bury the subwoofer in there. And this is the suggested wiring gauge and stuff. So now this information we already know because we've been installing these for quite a few years now. And most of our information comes from the manual and also from manufacturer trainings. So we actually do attend training from the manufacturers when they're in town, or we actually fly away to go to CEDIA, which is it is the expo for installers. It's not open to the public, it's just for the installers. And sometimes they're in Denver, sometimes they're in Illinois. Not Illinois, no, I think it's, I'm getting that wrong. It's sometimes it's San Diego, Indianapolis, Justin is right, it's Indianapolis, sometimes it's in Dallas. I don't know where I got Illinois from, I don't know. All right, so I think I've yapped enough on this. So we got our 4 satellites. We have a mushroom subwoofer that we're gonna bury. Gus is actually, digging over there. So then now let's go ahead and start running our lines for our system. All right, so let's go. Okay, crew, as we're gearing up so we can bury the speaker wire, running our burial speaker wire, should I say, we're gonna take a break from being AV TV installers, and now we're gonna wanna be landscapers. So we got some of our landscaping tools right here, so we're getting ready to dig and bury the wire. Now let me show you what's happening over here. We are right back at the fire pit area. So we're doing one system here, one Sonance, a 4-1 system here, and we're gonna be doing a Sonance 4-1 system at the jacuzzi area. So we're actually doing 2 Sonance systems. So if you take a look over here, Justin, so we got 2 boxes. See that? We unboxed 1 of them, but in reality, we unboxed 2 of them. All right, so if we step over here, we got Gus working in the background, and this is what the client had. He had these Bose bi-directional speaker that was actually firing sound everywhere. So if you look at this pine wall that's over here, that's actually the neighbor over there. So the sound was traveling. So the point today here is that we're gonna be installing these directional, these are not directional, these are, directional drivers, so we can fire the sound directly at the client and away from the neighbor. Now, of course, sound travels, so there might be a little bit of a bleeding going on, but it's not gonna bleed up. It's not gonna bleed as bad as before. All right, so we removed this one here. So here we actually have 1 speaker. So I start laying them down where I think that the speakers will go, and then Gus and Justin will just start running the wires, installing them. So we have 1 satellite right over here. All right, Justin, so if you follow me, let's see, we got over here, Gus already dug the hole in here. So we're gonna bury our mushroom right in there. See that it's gonna go in there. We're gonna wire that up. We're also gonna put 1 right in here. Okay, some like so, firing up that way. And then they suggest between 6 to 8 feet between the satellites. We got 1 over there, we got 1 right over here, and I think we're gonna, there's 1 right there, folks. We're gonna install that right there. And then we have another 1 right over here that is gonna be firing up that way towards the fire pit. All right, so the fire pit is gonna have its own system. Then Gus already over there, he's starting to work on the other one. Let's go over there to the fire pit and see what's going on. Now back at the jacuzzi area, away from the fire pit, like I mentioned before, we're gonna be doing 2 Sonance 4-1 systems. So we got the mushroom subwoofer in here. Gus is gonna be working over here. I'm suggesting that we install the subwoofer right here so the bass just kind of travels towards the jacuzzi area. We have 1 single satellite right there that's gonna get installed. We have another one right here, firing this way, away from the neighbors. We got another one firing up this way, away from the neighbors. And 1 final one firing up this way, away from the neighbors. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. And the subwoofer is the 1. So that explains it to be the 4-1 system. And all right, so I think I'm yapping enough. So the idea is, once we're done, the ladies are over here mingling, partying, having their mimosas, all right? And the boys are over there in the fire pit having a cigar and listening to their tunes, or vice versa. The ladies over there with mimosas and the boys and their cigars on this side. Or if they're actually having a party, they can globally play the music and just flood this area with music, not only the fire pit or the jacuzzi, but also the pool. I don't know, let's move on to the next thing. Let's go.
Alrighty there, crew. Now what you're going to see in this part of the time lapse is us digging up the mulch and the areas in which we're going to hide the wire, and then from there you're going to see how my dad, or rather in general, the grueling process it takes to go behind trees and bushes, and generally where we need to go to run the wire, and then eventually also hide it by putting the mulch or dirt back. So, like I said, crew, now you're watching my dad painstakingly sort of awkwardly go behind the pine trees and run this wire to go to the jacuzzi zone. And even though it looks like a pain in the butt, you know, we do this to make sure that you know, the clients don't see not one piece of wire hiding anywhere. But now that my dad is running this wire, we can continue on and see what Gus is up to, which is the next time lapse that we're going to see, in which you're going to see how Gus exactly ran this wire through the stone to where the subwoofer needs to go.
Okay, crew, a little bit of progress report over here on this project. I got Gus over here by the jacuzzi. We got that second line feed all the way over there. You just saw me running through that stone retaining wall along the pine, running that line. And there's the subwoofer there, so I got Gus installing that. We also have a first satellite speaker that's gonna go right there, the subwoofer, so they feel the bass over here. And then we got another one that's gonna go here. He's gonna wire that up. And now let's go check on what Justin is doing, so I can also join forces with him and see what he's working on. All right, let me go ahead and get around this pool area over here. All right, folks, now, see over here, we gotta bury these lines. Okay, so we needed 2 feeds, okay? We needed a feed for the fire pit, and we needed a feed for the jacuzzi area. So over here, there it is. We have that line feed that's going right across the fire pit over here, and then it's gonna go across the stone retaining wall, across the pine trees, and then Justin is burying that line. Here's the first line that we needed to the first satellite, and then from there we loop it, and then we're gonna install it on the first subwoofer that is right over here, and from there we're gonna continue the chain onto the other speakers. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go ahead and help him out and bury these lines. They're going along over here by the shed on this pony fencing wall that's hiding the pool equipment, and then over here, you know, we dug it up, we removed some mulch, some soil, some roots, right? When you go behind the stone over here, all along the landscape lining over here, and then we're doing a little crossover over here, okay, on this walkway by the gate. Okay, check it out. Right, look how deep that is, okay, nice and deep. I think we did about 6 to 8 inches there. All right, so we're gonna bury that up, and we also have some marking flags. We're gonna mark the floor. It's gonna go right around here, the doggy area, and there's our box still attached to it, our 2 lines in there, and the equipment is gonna reside somewhere in there in that room. All right, so let's go ahead and start burying some of this cable. All right, folks, let's get there. All right, folks, we have successfully buried our speaker wire. Actually, me and Justin had a little father and son team up, and then we buried all the cable all the way out to the house, where we think the cable's gonna penetrate into the house. Now, the homeowner's not here, but we have permission to be here to install it. In fact, it's the holidays. They're away, they're celebrating. It is the new year now. And so now, we're getting ready to wire this up. Gus is already over there making some connections with the wire nuts into his speaker splices. So now, what I wanted to show you is that normally when we pre-wire a wire, we also label it. In this case, we didn't do it. Sometimes, you know, our minds are running 100 miles a minute, so we forget to sometimes label the wire. So why don't we just work on that? We have 2 feeds over there all the way in the house, but we don't know which one is which. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a tone generator. All right, and what that does, it just creates a little beep. And here's a, all right, hear that? All right, great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these into the wires. So we're gonna use the white and the red as a positive. Alrighty then. And then we're gonna use the black and green as the negative. Great, all right, so now I got my tones in there, so I should be able to, see that? I'm generating a tone on that wire. I got some white tape. Now, let's go ahead and go all the way out there where we ran the wire. So here's a little piece of the wire actually still. I don't know if you could see it. So let's take a look here. Hear that right there? Great, that's toning. So all our wires running all the way over here. Now let's walk all the way over there where it's gonna penetrate the house. Join me. Okay, crew, we are over here at the head end point where the equipment's gonna be installed inside of the house. And so I have my 2 feeds over here. It's not pretty right now because we're gonna get rid of it later. So now we have to find out which one is which. All right, so let's see. All right, see that? I got nothing there. I got a tone right there. So what that's telling me is that this wire right now is the fire pit. So I'm gonna take a piece of white wire for now and then just kind of run it over here. It doesn't have to be pretty for now. We're gonna remove it later, but we wanna know what it is. Okay. And there it is, just like that. And we're gonna take our marker and I'm gonna name it FP. Well, FP is actually fireplace. We like to use FP for fireplace, so we're gonna use fire pit. There it is, fire pit. Yes, let's go ahead and do it on the other side too. Fire pit. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and label this one. Or we don't actually have to label it because we know that's gonna be the jacuzzi. But for the argument's sake of things, we're gonna go ahead and label it because we are also gonna run more wires actually. We still gotta do the outdoor cinema, which is gonna be that Samsung Terrace 75-inch above the fireplace with the Ethos Definitive Technology outdoor soundbar. And then we still got it installed 4 Atmos Sonins. We're gonna use Mariners as Atmos. And we also gotta use the Surface outdoor Sonin subwoofer. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna label this here, jacuzzi. So why don't we just name this, just us for us, jazz. All right, okay, sorry folks, my handwriting is horrible. I'm not trying to win a beauty contest. I just want to label this for us later. I'm just gonna label it jazz. All right, there it is. Okay, let's get back over there and get some termination going. Okay, crew, now that we have successfully found that wire at the head end section of the pre-wire, now it's time to start wiring the first chain of the speaker. So here's my satellite speaker right here. I already got the spike already inverted into the soil. And then Justin is actually making a channel right over here so he can continue the chain to the subwoofer. The subwoofer actually is gonna have a break, meaning that the wire is completely cut, the left and the right, all right? So those pairs are cut. Over here, we have a wire loop. So what we're gonna do is to respect this wire loop, we're gonna go ahead and run a zip tie. All right, there it is, nice and tight. Alrighty then, and we're gonna keep this loop like this, and then Justin is gonna hide that. All right, so now what we're doing here, folks, we just need one speaker wire here attached to the feed on here. So the music is gonna come in and then continue towards the chain over there. So this is gonna be the first speaker. We can either make this a right or a left, it doesn't matter. So if I start a right over here, Justin, that means the next one is a left, exactly. And then after the left, it's going to be the right. And then after the right, it's going to be a left. So we have to do that about 4 times. What I'm doing is, I'm actually exposing the wire a little bit, okay? We open it and expose the wire. And then since we're doing, all right, Justin, you take a pick. Tell me which wire you want me to start on here. Okay, Justin say start with the left. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna pick the left. And the left, we are using?
Green and white.
Okay, green and white. So here it is, folks. So all I gotta do is take the green and white. What we're gonna do, we're gonna cut that right here, and the red and the black are gonna continue. All right, so we're gonna use another zip tie here just so we can maintain the loop. All right, there it is, see that? And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strip the wire. Okay, there it is. So now what we're gonna do is that we're gonna join these wires together. Try to make a little braid on here so the wire stays together. Alrighty then, and let's go ahead and strip it a little more so they meet each other. All right, folks, here it is. Okay, so now let's go ahead and strip that. See that there? Stripped and joined together. There it is. So now I got my positive and my negative. Check it out. Okay, Justin's gonna take that, and we're gonna use my wire nuts right here with the built-in dielectric grease. And check this out. If the toner is still hooked up, check that out, folks. Okay, so we got a tone. That means that the wire, it's live with a live feed. So now I'm actually gonna take the speaker wire jumper that is attached to the satellite. I'm actually gonna put my wing nut over here with the built-in dielectric grease inside. Come on, get in there. Here we go. Okay, and what that does, the dielectric grease, it's actually an anti-corrosive compound, and what it does is that, oh, check that out. We should be able to hear, check it out, I'm gonna put my mic next to it. See that? Now we got the tone on the speaker. So what that's telling me is that this works. Okay, let me go ahead and seal this up with the wing nut over here. Okay, and the dielectric grease, it's actually a water repellent. It allows current to flow through, but it repels water right out. So All right, folks, I think this is ready to go, and let me go ahead and connect this like this. All right, and we got it all in there. Let me take another zip tight and tie this up, bury it, and we're ready to go. Let's move on to the next. All right, crew, so earlier in the video, you might have seen this, that we started with a full box of ice cable 14-4 burial speaker wire. Okay, that was actually 500 feet. It took 130 feet for the first line for the fire pit, and Gus took an additional 200 and change to get all the way over there. So we are in the safety limits between 325 feet. Now, if you notice, we have an empty box right here. We have some leftover cabling. See it right here, Justin? And now 14-4 means that there's 2 pairs of speaker wire. So when we have some wire left over, what we do is actually we separate the cable. Let me show you a little trick. We take a drill, and walk with me, Justin. We're gonna go all the way to the end of this cable. All right, here we go. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tie the end of that cable to my drill. Tie the chuck over, and then just go full speed forward. Ready? And I don't know if you want to get a shot of this, Justin, real close. We go ahead and spin the cable. Check that out. We're spinning it. And Justin is getting a close-up shot of that. And what we're doing is we're tying up the cable nice and tight. We are twisting it. So then the cable just ties up on itself, and it's a lot easier to manage. All right, see that in there? Okay, I'm gonna release, and it's gonna start dancing on its own. And that is the end that Gus needs so he can finish up his end. All right, so he needs the white and the green. I need the red and the black. All right, so we got like this is about 60 or 50 feet left over. Not a problem. You're gonna go ahead, take it on the drill, put it inside an empty chuck, spin it until you have it, and then have at it. From there, back up a little bit so you have the line off the floor, and just sit there and spin it. Take it out. All right. Look at that. We're gonna tie it up nice and tight. All right, hopefully some of the AV and integrators out there are not getting pissed at us because we're giving away the tips and tricks. Not a problem. All right, there it is. Now I'm just gonna release it. That I need my wire right over here. Check it out. I need to go to this speaker from this speaker right here, right there. And that's the end of my chain. Gus is taking care of the end of his chain. And let's see what else we got left to do. We just got to tie up all these speakers and keep burying some of this wire. Now, some of you out there might be saying, Ed, this is a lot of work, man. This is a lot of work just to listen to music. I can just bring a Bluetooth speaker outside and I can pair it to my phone. I can just go to Walmart, Target, and just buy a little Bluetooth speaker. Well, if that's your kind of budget, that is fine. If that is your style, and that is how you think you're gonna impress people about how much money you saved against a system like this, more power to you. But this particular client said he just wants to be able to listen to music without having to carry speakers, music for the wives and the ladies over there, music for the boys over here, and then he can control it with his phone. And he doesn't want to be able to be dragging a speaker all the time, all right? So, no, all right? Let's go ahead and keep burying some of the speaker wire. Okay, crew, a little bit of a follow-up on the project. Justin is making some terminations on the fire pit section. Gus is over here. Oh, the sun's getting, let me go ahead and move it this way. All right, Gus has successfully told us that he installed the subwoofer and the first satellite speaker. So let's check that out. There it is. Look how beautiful that is. So he's got the little subwoofer mushroom right here. First satellite there. He's working on finishing the rest of the speaker lines this way. All right, now let's go ahead and check on Justin to see what he's doing. So let's go ahead and follow up with Justin and let's see. And all right, Justin, tell us what you're working on over here.
Right now I'm tying together all the terminals for the connections for all the satellites and the subwoofers. So I'm just tying in every pair, making them match as best as it could, making it look nice and pretty so that
like an electrician did it, not a Navy guy. Yeah, right. Okay, so Justin, he's working on the subwoofer. We got the subwoofer right here. And we have the other speaker that is following up to the one we just saw a second ago over there. All right, so Justin, so if I did over there, my other speaker, all right, let's check him out. So if my other speaker that I did at the beginning of the chain was the left, what does that mean that this one is going to be?
Has to be right.
He said that this one's going to be right. So he's right. He's actually right about being right about the right speaker being right. So good, he's right. Great. So now what he's doing is we got to maintain the chain coming in through the speakers as per manufacturer, and that's the way the science works. So he's tailing in all the whites, all the blacks, all the reds, and all the greens. Now, this speaker that's here, which a second ago he said is right, which he's right about being right about the right speaker being right, he's right on that, he's got to make this one right. So the right way of doing it is that he's going to take the red and the black and match it to the red and the black on that one. So he's going to tail all that wire together. We're going to bury that right over here, and then we're going to maintain the chain this way to the next speaker, which is right over here. So if Justin is right about that one being right, that one being left, and this one being right, he was right about that one being right, what does it mean this one's going to be, Justin?
That one will be left.
Okay, so he said that that one is going to be right, and this one's going to be left. So he was right about the right, and now he's right about the left. So let's go ahead and see what he's making. The connection, nice and pretty, very professional looking. I wonder who taught him. I don't know. Maybe some guy, I don't know, that knows what he's doing. And check that out, all nice and pretty there. So then he's gonna make all our splices in there for the subwoofer. And then we're gonna take all this soil and bury it back up again. And then we'll go ahead and move on to bigger and better things. All right then? Okay, let's go ahead and move on.
Alrighty crew, and as we start to close out this part of the job, you're going to see me finish up making all the connections and also burying the connections, and then from there you're going to see me work on the tail that is going to split from the subwoofer to the next satellite speaker, in which you're seeing right now. Then from there, crew, we're going to dig up the subwoofer and also the rest of the line that splits from there all the way to the next speaker. And here's footage of my dad doing that right now. From here, let's go on to the next part of the video.
All right, crew. It is the end of the day for us today. So we're wrapping things up. The guys are cleaning up. So let's do a small recap of what we did. We ran all the burial speaker wire to the head end, buried it all along the pine wall over here. And so we got the fire pit is completed. Check it out, we got one speaker right over here. This is gonna be our first in the chain. This is gonna be a left one. Follow up over here, Justin buried all the cable over here. Then he installed this one, this one became the right one. Then right behind it, we have the subwoofer, which is right over here, that is tailed in and dialed in. Check it out, it's gonna be covering and throwing bass over here to the fire pit. Then we have following up another speaker right over here, check it out. Nice and pretty, it's all wired up, firing up music this way. And then our final speaker on this chain is actually right over here. So we're trying to hide everything so they don't see it. And that one is gonna be firing up music that way. That covers the fire pit system. This is gonna be one zone in the Sonos system. Now, if we go over here this way, check it out, right? If we follow up over here, right across the waterfall, we make our way into the jacuzzi, where Gus did an amazing job over here. And in fact, he's trying to get us to guess where he ran the wire. Trust us, it's somewhere over here in all this little small pebbles and the gravel over here. But starting up over here, our chain starts up with the subwoofer. Then he partitions that to the first satellite in the system. We have no idea if that's a left or a right. Then he runs the wire right over here. We got another speaker in the chain. Check it out right here, firing up music towards jacuzzi. We follow up over here this way. Let's see, where did he do another one? Up, there it is. We got another one right over here. That's firing up music to the jacuzzi away from the neighbors. And the final in the chain, right over here. I have no idea if this is a left or a right. Gus did it, doesn't matter. Okay, and all these four speakers are gonna work together with the subwoofer, and that's gonna be firing up music over here in the jacuzzi. We have a jacuzzi as a zone, the fire pit as a zone, and then we're gonna come back, I believe, tomorrow, and we're gonna continue working in the pergola, where we're gonna start working on the ammo system and the subwoofer. and we ran out of cable. So we got to go back to the warehouse and pick up new cabling. So let's go.
Sorry for the interruption, crew, but this is actually going to be the end of the video. So as always, if you enjoyed this content, like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to drop the bell so you can always get notification as to when we produce a new video. And as always, please stay tuned for the next Home Media Bliss video.